So when you're talking about Houston, Texas, one of the things that always comes to mind is real estate. Whether you're looking to invest, buy your dream home, or you're just kind of taking a look around to see what's new, Houston's a great market. And here to talk to us a little bit about that is Miss Kathlyn Curtis. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Melody.
And so tell me, about what you do. What's your job when it comes to real estate and the Houston market or beyond?
My job, I see it kind of as connecting people with property, people with lifestyles. I don't really see it as selling an inventory item or a transaction. I'm not a deal-based realtor. I'm definitely a relationship-based realtor. When I'm helping buyers, it's real important for me to envision where are they living now, what do they see themselves living in, and what might they not have thought of about where their new home is going to be, what their new home is going to be like for the foreseeable future.
Right.
I also sell homes. The fact that I actually do sell property every day and I'm showing buyers property all over Houston in all different neighborhoods really helps me understand the value proposition of that particular house in that particular neighborhood to the buyers who are out there right now in the market. And that gives me a great advantage on the pricing side. So I'm usually really good at pricing a house. I am not afraid to price it a little bit high if the seller wants to test the market, but I am definitely good at evaluating where a property is most likely to sell. And that's huge, especially in Houston, where we have no zoning, where every neighborhood's different, and the underlying land value varies dramatically depending on what block you're on, or what school you're zoned to, or whether you're in one of the villages, or in the city of Bel Air versus city of Houston, even if you're in the same zip code. So those are just kind of anecdotal examples of where some real good analysis needs to come into play. And sellers actually have a really good understanding of the market in their particular neighborhood because they're watching other houses that have sold, and they might know what another house asked list price was. They might not know the sales price, but I can get them that data. But they might not be walking the properties inside, and they might not know what other neighborhoods would a buyer who's going to look at this house look at. You know, like right now we're in a house that's listed somewhere between $4 and $5 million in Bunker Hill Village. Someone who's going to spend $4 to $5 million on a property maybe also be looking in one of the other villages, of course, in Memorial. They may also be looking in River Oaks, where they're going to get a smaller lot but a little bit closer to downtown. And then it's a matter of really understanding the competition. Like, have I walked a lot of the competition? Have I seen how it shows in person? And it's selling the largest asset, possibly the largest asset that you've ever owned in your life. And that is overwhelming.
Absolutely.
And scary.
Yes, yes. I think it's listed, in the top 3 most stressful things that you can do in life is selling or buying a home.
Yes.
So it sounds like you help to really make that instead something that is hopefully smooth.
It's a very emotionally charged career. You're dealing with people with their most valuable asset typically in some of the most stressful situations. They got a new job and they're moving out of town, or they got a new job and they're moving into town. They have more kids and they're outgrowing their current home. Their kids have all aged out of the house and they're in college now. Now they need to downsize. They got a divorce. One of their parents died. I mean, their spouse might have died. All kinds of emotionally charged situations. And I think my true love for people, allows me to develop those true bonds. I work really well with all kinds of people, but I tend to handle more difficult clients a lot more gracefully than most because I would be a very difficult client myself.
Tell me how you help a client to actually find the right fit for them.
So Houston, I love Houston. That's my company, is why I love Houston Properties. That's all my branding. Even when I was a teenager, all my friends were like, gosh, you love Houston so much. We think it's boring. I mean, they're teenagers. I love Houston. I appreciate Houston for what it is, and I understand what it is not. And it is not like any other large city in America. It's very unique. We're the only large city in America that has no zoning. It developed very organically from the core and spread out. People far out in the suburbs identify themselves as Houstonians, even though they might be technically in another city on the outskirts of town, which is not typical for other large metroplexes. I publish lifestyle guides for each neighborhood guides.
Do you really? So what goes in that? I'm sorry, that's really amazing.
No, it's great. So I put, places to eat, places to shop, stuff about the schools, if the schools are a good selling feature for the neighborhood, walkability, if there are any trails, or, if there are farmers markets regularly in the neighborhood, what it is that identifies that little neighborhood as a community.
Right.
And because we don't have zoning, there are, I don't have just like a Montrose guide, for instance. I have 3 different areas within Montrose because they all have a different flavor and feel. And people just don't know that unless they live it.
Right.
I've been learning the city since I was a child. My family was in commercial development, so I grew up driving around, looking at property, watching the city grow, watching the city grow. I mean, I know what it used to look like, in all different phases. And that's invaluable information. It's interesting as an adult, I've traveled all over the world. I've lived in a couple of different cities in the US and in Europe, and having that perspective of traveling around and then coming back here, I really see like Houston is so special, and I'm very privileged to grow up here, but it's not like any other city in the world.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We've talked about your background. Something unique about you is that you didn't actually go into real estate at first, that this is something where the journey of life has taken you here. So tell me a little bit about where you started.
So I started my career practicing law. I was a tax lawyer for 10 years. I did mostly corporate international tax planning. Sounds really boring. It was actually really interesting academically and intellectually, but very divorced from the real world and people. And I am a people person, so that was something I was really missing. And after I had my first son, who just turned 7, I really, had a heart-to-heart with myself and thought about, what do I really want out of life, and what do I want to model for my children? And took a huge risk walking away from a nice corporate law job and trying my hand at real estate.
Right. Well,
in real estate, you have to love people and you have to love property. And if you don't love either of those, you might be successful on a deal basis, on a money-making basis, but you're not going to find happiness in the career. And I truly feel like that resonates with my clients. They know I love my job. They know they're not inconveniencing me when they have a question, or they want me to go look at a property with them, or they want some extra advice before they sell their property, how to get it ready. I love that. I love it all. So I think that makes my clients feel really comfortable with me, and we end up developing very strong friendships because I'm truly helping them and I'm enjoying helping them and I'm getting to know them intimately in the process.
Ms. Kathlyn Curtis, to represent you, whether you're buying or selling, she can help you hopefully to find the perfect fit.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.